Welcome to Prime Business. I am Emma Davis. For our stories for tonight, cement manufacturers are linking the increase in prices of their products to the cedi's depreciation. This, they say, has resulted in the cost of production hitting the roof, thereby making it difficult not to reduce their prices. They initially rejected the push by the Trade Minister, Katie Hammond, to reverse the increase. The Chamber of Cement Manufacturers, however, maintained that it is committed to engaging government on the issue. Dr. George Dawson Amoa is the chief executive of the chamber.
There is still room for the minister to call us, just to investigate or ask for the justification. But we feel and still insist, which of course I was very, very insistent on that the approach, the best approach for the minister was to engage us. And this directive too, it will be very difficult to comply with because we are not in the price control regime. We are not in the price control regime. And we are talking about production cost. We are talking about what really goes into production. We are talking about business. We are talking about We are talking about people running, lost. Investment are not running.
Dr. Dawson, quickly, I want to know the way forward on this matter. Yes, are you open to engage government?
Of course. It should more or less, if you call us, we can come. And like I said, there is already an open door between us and the ministry. I can even show you a copy of the Memorandum of Understanding that at any point in time, each party can approach. We can engage. And this is what we call it. We are saying it's unfortunate that he didn't use that channel in engagement. And so, in that engagement. So if really now it's like it has to be reversed for us to meet and justify it, yes, we'll do that.
The much anticipated FinTech conference, the Threei Africa Summit, ended in Accra yesterday with much optimism for a more digitalized Africa. The Threei Africa Summit concluded on Wednesday in Accra with the final remarks from Ghana's president, governor of the Bank of Ghana, and several key stakeholders in the FinTech ecosystem. My colleague Winston Taki was there and has a wrap of the three-day event.
There is still room for the minister to call us.
The Threei Africa Summit was organized by the Bank of Ghana and the Development Bank Ghana to serve as a pivotal gathering dedicated to unlocking the vast potential of Africa's fintech and broader economic landscape. The summit was launched by Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo, who highlighted the government's commitment to advancing digital literacy.
Today, some 17 million of our fellow citizens now possess a digital ID, linking them seamlessly to the critical services they need to thrive in the modern world. The Ghana.gov portal has facilitated transactions worth some 1.6 billion cedis since its inception in 2019, improving revenue collection, reducing corruption, and in creating a more transparent and accountable system of governance.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, was optimistic about the youth engagement in fintech.
Presently, we stand on the precipice of a global digital era, especially with artificial intelligence. And there is now a sense of urgency for Africa to accelerate the digitalization agenda through the 3 I's of innovation, investment, and impactful policies to boost economic growth and development.
Other speakers further added their voices for a call for a digital revolution in Africa.
Our focus going forward is therefore to generate growth within our borders by increasing access to capital. This cannot be achieved without a strong fintech infrastructure, an important requirement to address the efficiency of delivering capital to SMEs.
Digital innovation, financial bankability of small medium enterprises, of young people. In my opinion, this is the revolution that I believe.
The time is perhaps right for Africa to create a next generation foundational digital public infrastructure architecture, which is consent-based and pan-African in scope.
On this note, I declare the Threei Africa Summit closed.
We've seen in the last 3 days, African fintech experts, central bank governors, tech experts, specialists, investors all gathered in Accra to participate in a Threei Africa Summit. Today happens to be the closing day. As you can see behind me, the wrap-up, which was closed by the central bank governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, indicating that indeed Africa is ready for the fintech revolution. My name is Winston Taki, reporting for Joy Business.
The Dean of the University of Professional Studies Law School, Professor Ernest Abuchi, is urging Ghana's private sector to take advantage of the enormous opportunities that the African Continental Free Trade Area provides. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Professor Abuchi stated that the pact would enhance their chances of expanding into other markets. Here's more.
The After Africa Trade Conference was organized by the UPSA Law School, and the Letna Center for International Law and Justice was on the theme, taking stock of the implementation of the After Continental Effort, State of Commitment and Private Sector Involvement. The Dean of the UPSA Law School, Professor Ernest Kofi Abuchi, believes the private sector needs to capitalize on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
Our government must put facilitative platforms together to get these bodies and entities talking to government, and government talking to them, and they're talking to actors, and they're talking to policy, and they're talking to implementers, talking to experts. There must be a platform. That's number one. But number two, the private sector itself must be interested. The private sector is the biggest beneficiary of the AFCFTA's success. It will also be the biggest loser if it is not prepped and is not ready, and our markets are opened up and other countries take advantage and we don't. If we don't, what we'll have is that we'll have a flooding of our markets, and then the private sector will be crowded out and their businesses will collapse. So there is a benefit and a danger at the same time, and so the private sector must be interested. They do not have to sit back and wait for government to carry the conversation to them. They have to take the bull by the horn, to use the proverbial statement. So it's imperative that we have movements both ways. Government must provide the facilitation for appropriate conversations, but the private sector must equally be interested.
The German ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Daniel Crow, underscores the importance of a competitive market.
The African consumers and African people have a right to the efficiency of larger markets. And I think this is the whole idea of creating a more integrated African market or free trade zone, and so Africans can enjoy the benefits of more competition, basically. I think the whole concept is to increase competition, and so you need entrepreneurs, you need company who like the idea of competing and trying to be better than others. And if you don't have this spirit in the whole thing, then it probably will not become a success.
The conference was supported by the German Cooperation, GIZ, the American Chamber of Commerce Ghana, and was in partnership with Afronomics Law and the Afro Champions Initiative. Reporting for Joy Business, Winston Nitaki.
Now 35 agri startups are competing for seed funding from Cosmos Innovation Center and its partners through the Agritech Challenge Pro. Speaking to Joy Business, Executive Director of KIC, Benjamin John Kesey, indicated that the competition is part of the company's efforts to help address the unemployment challenge in the country. The Agritech Challenge Pro is the next stage after Cosmos Innovation Center's Agritech Challenge Classic and the stage before the KIC Business Incubation Program. According to Executive Director of Cosmos Innovation Center, Benjamin John Kesey, the center is working assiduously to empower startups in the agri sector.
Through these activities in itself, KIC is allowing the young person to identify employment opportunities, first of all, for themselves, and also through the successes of their businesses, of also employing others. So over the past years, KIC have trained over 3,500 young entrepreneurs in this area. And out of that, quite a number, hundreds, I would say a few thousands of direct employment have come from the businesses that KIC have established and also the SMEs that we have supported through the KIC Business Booster Program.
The MasterCard Foundation has partnered Cosmos Innovation Center to fund agri startups over the past 3 years. Godfred Odampton Soa is head of entrepreneurship at MasterCard Foundation.
The MasterCard Foundation is implementing the Young Africa Work Strategy, which essentially is to enable 30 million young people in Africa access dignified and fulfilling work, 70% being women. In Ghana, that number translates to 3 million young people accessing dignified and fulfilling work between now and 2030. Our partnership with the KIC on the Initiative for Youth in Agricultural Transformation is a fantastic example of what we are trying to do with young people, walking them on the journey where we build them with skills and also support them with their journey from ideation to getting their MVPs out so that they are providing solutions, innovative solutions in agricultural space.
The Ghana Civil Aviation Authority has revealed that more international airlines have expressed interest in extending their operations to the new Kumasi International Airport. Director General of the authority, Engineer Charles Kreku, says engagement has started with 2 international airlines, which he believes will go well. He spoke at the authority's 38th anniversary celebration.
The After Africa Trade Conference was organized.
The Ghana Civil Aviation Authority celebrated its 38th anniversary, marking a great milestone for the organization in providing world-class regulation and air navigation services for the aviation industry. Director General of the GCAA highlighted the authority's effort to modernize air infrastructure and provide efficient and effective services.
As the airport is concerned, it's now an international airport, and what we plan is that we want to have discussions with airlines that will fly directly from Kumasi to Europe, to other African countries. Other airlines have expressed interest, so we are in discussions with them, and we want to make Kumasi a hub, a big airport which will have bigger aircraft and then utilize the new airport that has been contracted. So new airlines will be coming, they will join what we have currently, like the African World Airlines and the Passion Air, so that Kumasi Airport facilities will be utilized to the maximum. As I speak, apart from the terminal building that we constructed, we have a new radar system as well, the first of its kind in Kumasi. That will be a backup for what we have in Accra and Tamale. So the whole airspace that we are managing is protected down to the oceanic level. So we are going to utilize Kumasi Airport as the President has said, as an international airport.
Over the years, the GCAA has undergone several amendments and transformations to meet the International Civil Aviation Organization's mandate of ensuring that civil aviation operations are regulated efficiently and effectively worldwide. James Ishen's report for Joy Business.
Away from the aviation industry, Goldfields Ghana Foundation has launched its 20th anniversary celebrations with a commitment to expand scope of activities, including health and infrastructure development in host communities. More in this report.
In the heart of Ghana's mining communities lies the Apinto Divisional Area, where the Goldfields Foundation has been a beacon of hope and progress for the past 2 decades. The Executive Secretary of Goldfields Ghana Foundation, Abdul Razak Yakubu, reflects on the foundation's journey in these 20 years.
20 years has been exciting. I have been involved in at least 17 of those 20 years, and I can attest that it's been exciting in a positive way. We are excited at seeing the impact that Goldfields has made through the foundation. When you go to any corner of Ghana and even beyond, you can find somebody, a professional, who is one of the over 2,700 graduates of our scholarship. And this brings us a lot of joy. Our great interventions, this also brings us a lot of joy. So it has been an exciting journey. In terms of infrastructure, Takwa has changed, Daman has changed, Hunivali has changed. We've enjoyed the peace to work for this long, and you will hardly hear of any community agitation involving Goldfields. And it's because of the relationship we have built. So if the chiefs are calling for greater collaboration, we welcome it. We'll sit down with them and then try and find out the details. What exactly does that mean? But there are no barriers to the level at which we want to collaborate. Our doors are always open, and in fact, bear in mind, we are here as a mining company. A lot of things we are doing are not our primary business. So we always open our doors to listen to those who have the experience, those who have the mandate, like the municipal assemblies and all that, so that we can incorporate that and give the communities what they truly deserve.
The foundation's impact is visible in every corner of Ghana, from scholarship for over 2,700 graduates to infrastructure developments in communities like Takwa, Daman and Hunivali. Goldfields has left an indelible mark on the landscape of Ghana. Chief Executive Officer, Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Koni, emphasized the need for collaboration among stakeholders.
The reality is that we cannot take for granted the presence of Goldfields and assume that we would continue to have a thriving foundation. Why do I say so? Because as Razak demonstrated, we fund the foundation through effective production. If today the mines are not there, if production declines, effectively what it means is that the amount of funds which are going to the foundation through the operating companies will dwindle, and you don't want to do that. But the fisheries of the foundations have a keen interest in the operations of Goldfields, both Daman and Takwa, and supports them every step of the way. It is also important, in summary, to also recognize the symbiotic relationship between Goldfields and the community. So here we want to plead.
To the Ashanti region, as management of the KJTS City Market has begun locking up an average of 500 shops a day in an attempt to retrieve 600,000 cedis debt owed the Electricity Company of Ghana. According to Managing Director of the facility, Edmond Dufour-Adai, the action is to ensure the market is not plunged into total darkness by the ECG. There's more in this report.
Over 7,000 shops in the KJTS City Market experienced rampant power cuts due to huge electricity bill. Management of the facility has been locking up shops as part of strategies to compel traders to honor payment of outstanding bills. Managing Director Edmond Dufour-Adai says at least 500 shops are locked daily for non-compliance.
Yeah, locking shops a day, it will lock between 500 to 700 shops. From 500 to 700 shops on a daily basis. We'll continue to do that to retrieve the money. There was another challenge in this retrieval of outstanding debt. Shops are amount for unlocking. Amount for budget shops are unlocking. But we build them because the shops are supposed to be operative. And you wouldn't know which shop is operating and which shop is not operating. And so we bill you with what you are required to be billed with.
The city market is expected to pay 15,000 Ghana cedis every 3 weeks to ECG to avoid disconnection.
Here 1.5 million, 15 billion to defray an outstanding debt of almost 7.2 million Ghana cedis, 72 billion. And the arrangement with ECG is so acute, so tough. They say 22nd April, you pay 1.5 million. On the 9th of May, which was even less than 3 weeks, they say I could hear 1.5 million. Until Kabomwa, we paid 3 million cedis. within a maximum of less than 3 weeks.
Mr. Dufo Ade explains how the traders who have purchased their separate meters will contribute to the payment of the outstanding bills.
We've not agreed on the formula to use, yes, but thinking aloud, I have my views on it, but management has not met. Management is share with, so I be share stakeholders. So we may have options. One of the options is to pass on that bill onto your new meter. As you buy, we deduct. That is after we may have settled ECG. So I say, because if we don't settle ECG, this one cannot work. Then the other option is that, yes, the bill that comes to you is not just electricity. It has other components, other service charges, which is the security, the fumigation, the cleaning, the garbage. And so we can decide that, look, or the balance left, in order not to disrupt your enjoyment of energy, you continue to pay your energy, but we'll roll out a payment plan with you. That within 3 months, we need to pay up. Within 6 weeks, we need to pay up. So we split the figure maybe equally or proportionately, or you best split in ratios. Maybe you pay first 40, second 20, third 40, something like that.
Joseph Obins reports for Joy News.
For a business, the conversion rate is crucial because it helps assess the effectiveness of marketing strategies and sales processes, indicating how well the business is able to convert interested individuals into actual customers. Dr. Maxwell Ampon explains more on today's episode of Entrepreneur in You.
Hello. On the last episode, we learned how to calculate our cost per lead, which is the cost of generating the leads, which is the marketing campaign essentially, divided by the number of leads that you were able to generate. Now, the next step in our sales funnel is to convert those leads into paying customers, which is what everybody wants anyways. And that is why we need to learn how to calculate our conversion rate, which essentially calculates how efficient your sales funnel or your sales strategy is. So your conversion rate is the number of paying customers that you generated from the total number of leads after the marketing campaign. Why is this important? It's important because after all the hula baloo that we spoke about in the last episode as to don't pay attention to impressions, pay attention to leads. Now I'm coming again to say pay attention to leads, but if it has to lead to customers, you need customers in order to keep your business alive. So if your conversion rate is efficient, then you know that your marketing officer, your marketing manager, or your marketing team is doing a very good job, because once the person interacts with the product, you need to communicate the value of that product to the customer in order for them to be able to shell out money to pay for your product or your services. I'll take this opportunity as well to highlight the importance of data collection in all of this, because how do you know the number of people that walk into your office or walk into your shop without taking some form of data to be able to tabulate to find out that X number of people came within this period of time, and these are the leads that were generated, these are the paying customers that were generated from those leads, these are the ones that didn't come from those leads. All these come from data collection. You don't need fancy machines and fancy applications in order to do all of this. You do it from a notebook if you want to do it. You do it on your phone if you want to do it. But let us prioritize the importance of data collection, because without data collection, without a way to have some data to input into all these calculations and all these formulas that we are trying to explain here, it goes nowhere. So in the next episode, now that we've told you how to create your low cost per lead, now we are discussing your conversion rate. We are going to look in the next episode as to how to retain those paying customers, which is your retention rate. So until then, thank you for tuning in and keep it well.
Brought to you by Africa School of Entrepreneurship.
You'd like to make time for the next episode as Entrepreneur in You series airs right here on Mondays and Thursdays, and on radio as well as on all our social media platforms. I am Emma Davis. That's it for tonight on Prime Business. Do have a good evening.